Hello, welcome to Ekidel, where we train future civil and structural engineers. My name is 𝔼𝕚𝕚𝕚𝕡. First of all, before we proceed, I would like to highlight what we are going to be doing in this particular video, and also to first of all appreciate all of you that have always been commenting and also liking and subscribing to our channel and liking our videos. Really want to appreciate you. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And please, anytime you are watching our video, we will also appreciate your comment. Is that okay? So that we can rub mind together. That would very we really appreciate that. Is that okay? That would be very nice. Is that okay? All right, as we click on like button, also comment. Is that okay? All right, thank you so much. So what we are going to be doing today, looking at this member, you discover that so many of them failed and many are having challenges. We have received some messages on how to edit your structure or structural member or element that are failing. Is that okay? And what to look out for. So these are the things we are going to be looking at. For example, if you look at this column now, this column is failing. You can see that many columns are failing. Now, if you are at the edge, even inside, if you are at the edge or inside, then how do you position your column? How do you edit your column to make it pass? Is that okay? You don't just edit your column. There are other things you need to put into consideration. Is that okay? In editing your column that failed. Is that okay? Don't forget that you choose your column based on the size of your structure and also based on wall. You are planning to hide it. For example, if you look at this structure, it's 225 by let's see. Okay, let me come to review and then let me remove from here. Okay, so if you look at this structure now, let's go to the plan view. If you look at it, we are having what 230 by 230, isn't it? 230 by 230 column. Most of them, they are 230 by 230 column. Is that okay? 230 by 230 column. Now, the purpose is what? Is to hide them inside the column, inside the wall. But in a situation whereby the column you are trying to hide inside the wall is failing, then how do you now go about it such that you still hide it inside the wall? Are we together? So all of this we are going to be putting into consideration in this particular video. Is that okay? All right, that is fine. So on that note now, let's now start the work. Is that okay? So let's go to my 3D view. Is that okay? And then let me bring up this. Okay, now looking at this, don't forget we are going to be editing our material that failed, structural member that failed, and also to what direction. Is that okay? And when you are now editing, what do you look out for, especially in all your members? Is that okay? All right, so number one, let's start with this. For example, now if you look at this one now, it's at the edge. Is that okay? So let's start. Let's edit. Click on it. To edit it, you do what? You now right click. Is that okay? Right click, and once you right click, you click on section design. So if you now look at our section design, automatically if you look at this place, you see utilization ratio 20.93. that's very high. Is that okay? And we are expected that this utilization ratio should not be more than, should not be up to 1, should be less than 1. Is that okay? Something that should be less than 1, we are now having what? 20. You can see what is happening. So how do you now go about it to now make sure that this thing is less than 1? So to go about it now is to come to this place now. This is your section. Can you see? This is your section. You can see your section 230 by 230. Is that okay? This is where you work on it. So now the question now is, to what direction now? To what direction? Which side am I going to increase the size of my member? Now come to look at this one. Don't forget, if I increase it this direction, if I make it along this direction, understand, there's a wall here, isn't it? No problem. And if I also increase it along this direction, there's also a wall, isn't it? So in this case now, whichever direction is good, is okay, we are good to go. But there are still other things we are going to be considering. Is that okay? So therefore, let's start. Is that okay? I'll click on this, right click, and come to this place, section design. Let it come up again. All right, so I'll come to this direction now. Let's say I'm using a 450. Let's say I'm starting with 450, or let me just say, let's say 350 first. I click on this. Can you see? You can see it now. All right, so along a x direction, so it's going to be update, then reset, and then click on interactive design. Is that okay? Let's wait for you. Can you see it has passed? 350 have passed the design. Can you see now 350 have passed? Can you now see from 20.93 to now 0.94? This is our utilization ratio. Can you see? And also, let me go back again. You can see this place is showing what? Okay. This place is showing what? Okay. And also it's giving us our what? Our reinforcement. Can you see? It's showing us our reinforcement without any warning. Is that okay? So 6y16, which is okay. Then also, as I click on OK, you can now see utilization ratio is now what? 0.93 instead of what? Instead of 20.93. This now 0.94 now. Is that okay? Which is expected. So if you look at it, it's still close to 1. So if you now like, can now make it what? 450, which is still come down from what? 0.9. Is that okay? But even as it is, it's still okay. Is that okay? You can now click on what? On OK, and let's wait. Can you see? It has passed the design, but there is something we notice. It has passed the design, but if you now look at it, it's coming out of the wall. Can you see it? Can we see it? Sorry. So can you see it now? It's not flushing. Can you see that it's not flushing? So how do you now make it flush? Is that okay? In this training, I'm going to be showing you how do you make it flush. So let's just do it once and for all. Click on this, right click, go back to the same place. Let's go back to the same place. Then I'll come to this place. This one should be this first one should be X direction. So I'll make it minus 50, for example, minus 50. Click on update. Is that okay? And then click on OK. Okay, can you see? It has been adjusted. Can you see? It's now remaining small. Is that okay? So let's now make it 60. 60. At times we measure. Is that okay? You can measure it and then to now do the put whatever result we have gotten. So let's make it 60. 60. Is that okay? Update. Then click on OK. Can you see it now? Can you see what we have? Can you see? Perfect. So can you see now? It's back to the wall. Is that okay? It's now back to the what? To the wall. Can you see it? So this is how to go about it now. This one. So now, while we are having this one now like this, you can see that we increase it along this X direction. We increase it along this X direction, isn't it? Now, the reason is because there is a wall here, and there's also a wall here. Assuming there's no wall here, no wall around this side. Is that okay? And there's a wall around this side, and my increment will be along this side. So do you see it now? Are we getting it? So that is that. Let's also do one. Let's also do one. Let's see the one that is failing. Okay. Let's use this one. Let's go inside. Let's go inside. Okay. Looking at this one now. Let's at times. If you look at this one now, so if the wall is along this side, this one along this one, we are going to increase along this side. But if both of them have walls, you don't have any problem. Is that okay? You can increase to any direction as long as it passed the design. Is that okay? So that is that. So let's click on this and let's see. Come here again. Let's come here. Okay. Let me increase along X direction. See on X direction, or let's make it Y direction. Let's make it 350. Is that okay? Click on this. Is that okay? You can also see 13. Is that okay? So reselect, then click on this and let's see. Okay. It's also past the design. Can you see it now? 20y16. Now this is it. So if you look at it, this one now, you can see this this sign here. You can see this exclamation mark. Can you see this exclamation mark? 1, 2, 3. What it means that not that your structure is failing. It's not that your structure is failing, but it's not that your structure is going through stress. That's the meaning of this. Understand? It's going through stress. And at times, if you have to follow this particular one, if you have to follow it, you'll be having unnecessary size of members. Is that okay? You'll be having unnecessary sizes of what? Of structural members. Whereas in a real sense, it will have still passed the design. These are the XX check by the software. Is that okay? So that's the meaning of this. But in as much as your structure, if you look at that's giving you here, it's showing us okay, and here is that's giving us the size of number of reinforcement without anyone in here. No one, don't mind you, no one in here. And also here, if you look down here where my cursor is also showing us less than 1. Is that okay? We can ignore this and let it go. Is that okay? All right. So now that we have done that, we can now click on OK, and then let's see. Can you now see? It has passed the design. Can you see? Okay, sorry. So we can see it has passed the design. Where is it? Where is that one? I can't even find it again. Okay, all right, see it here. Can you see it now? So see it. So you can see that it has actually passed the design. Is that okay? So what other thing again? Now if you now look at this, when you're having this kind of scenario, if you now look at this other side also, if you look at, we are having a cantilever of what? Of about 4 meters. Cantilever of about 4 meters here. Is that okay? And if you look at this this column, if you look at this column here, this column, it should be along, it's either it's a circular column, sorry, circular column, rectangular square column, or a rectangular column. And if it's going to be a rectangular column, it should be spanning along this cantilever. Is that okay? Not in other direction. Is that okay? It should be spanning along this direction. So let's now do this one now and click on this, and then also come to this place now. Okay, initial guess was what? Initial assumption was what? 350. So it's not passing, so I'll make it 450. Is that okay? Update, and if you look at it, can you see? And then click on this one, reset, and click on this. Okay, can you see? It's also giving us what? 6y20, which is okay. And okay, other things to check. Okay, it's okay. So you can see this place is okay, and nothing like a exclamation mark here, and also this one and that. Now this one now 6y20. If you want to insist on using a less diameter of bar, that means, for example, you want to have a diameter 16. Understand? All you need to do is to come to this place and increase it. Is that okay? Let's say I'm even using a 650, for example. Let's see what it will give us. Okay. Can you see now? 8y16. Can you see? Can you see? This is how to go about it. Is that okay? So that is that for this is okay. Okay, update, reset bar, click on this. Okay, 6y20. Okay, and this one is also less than what? Less than 1. So I can click on okay. Is that okay? Now click on this. So can you see now? That's passed the design. Can you see? This is how you are expected to go when you are editing your material. Is that okay? So, and also now let's now enter into what? Into all right, there's another thing. If you look at this one now, at times you do notice that this particular one down here, can we have any of them where the ground floor passed the design while the column of the upper floor is failing? It's failing. Okay, you can see this one now here. Can you see this one now? There are situations whereby you have this kind of scenario. Is that okay? This one passed the design, but this upper side did not pass the design. Then how do you now go about it if this is the condition of your kind of structure you are having? Is that okay? So now I'll click on this, just the same way we have edited this one, the same way we are going to do this one. But since this one is failing, if at the end, if you look at my cursor, what pop up from my cursor, you can see that its diameter is what? Is 300. Is that okay? The diameter is 300. This one is also what? It's also 300. So if at the end, and now this one now pass by let's say 350. If this one pass by 350 diameter, automatically I'll come here and adjust this one to what? To 350, because it's expected. What is the ideal thing is that the structural member or the vertical element, which is the column on the ground side, on the lower side, should be, it's better to be bigger than the upper side. Not that the upper column is bigger than the downward or the downside column. That's not ideal. Is that okay? So this one can be bigger, this particular one can be bigger than this one, but not that this one is bigger than this one. No. Is that okay? And if you want to now make it properly, if this one is 350 diameter, this one also you come down and increase, even though it's passing, you also increase back towards to 350 diameter. So this is how to go about that. Is that okay? All right, having done that, now let's now see how we can now go for our beam. Is that okay? This is how you go about your columns that are failing. Is that okay? So that is that. Okay, we can also see one here also, just the same scenario here, the same thing applicable in this place. Is that okay? To reduce the length of the video, just the way I've explained, that's how you go about it. All right, let's now go for the beam. Is that okay? Let's go for the beam. As you can see, this beam now, as you can see, is failing. And if you also look at this scenario here, okay, you can see this column also. You can see this is a cantilever of about 3 point something. Is it 3 or 4? Is that okay? Of this one again, you can see it here. You can see this one, this cantilever, and this how they want it. Is that okay? So now also this one is failing. So the question is, how do I go about my increment? Is that okay? I can do the same thing and make this one pass. Is that okay? I've explained that when I was talking about this other side. this other side. Where is it? Okay, this one here. Is that okay? You remember when I increase this one? So the same thing principle applicable to this this particular column here. So let's now concentrate on this particular cantilever beam that is what, that is failing. Is that okay? All right. So but look at it. If you look at it, this one passed the design. If you look at where my cursor is, it passes the what, the design. Sorry, I'm coming. This one here, it passed the design, but this cantilever one did not pass the design. So how do you now go about this? Is that okay? How do you now go about it? Before we go into it, I want to say, if you have not still click on like button, I want to say, please click on like button, because the more you like, the more YouTube make this video to go viral. You people have been doing a lot of a good job. Is that okay? We really appreciate your effort in liking our videos and also learning at the same time, telling others about Ekidel. Really appreciate your effort. Is that okay? That's why anytime we come online, we always appreciate all of you. Is that okay? All right, thank you so much. And now, and if you have not subscribed, if this is your first time, I want to say subscribe. Is that okay? So that as we are releasing video, you'll be notified by YouTube. Is that okay? All right. So if you look at this, how do you now go about it? Am I just going to increase this, only this one that is failing, or I'm going to increase this one also that's already passed, or am I going to extend it all through? All of this, I'm going to also explain it right now as we go into dive into it. Is that okay? So what you do, click on it and then right click and also click on section design. Okay, let's wait for it. Can you see it's telling us section? It said bar do not fit in the what, in the cross section. Now this particular one, at times you normally see something like this. When they say bar does not fit into the section, it means that the number of bars reinforcement is too much, such that if they are to cast it, your coarse aggregate might not pass through. Is that okay? Because the number of bars required that is requesting for is not sufficient. Is that okay? Though there are other things we are going to be looking at. Is that okay? Because at times it will show you something like this, but it can still let it go. Is that okay? Haven't done some check-ins. Is that okay? Which we are going to be looking at now. All right. Let's now click on OK and let's wait for it to come up. Okay, let's come up. Okay, you click on, once you see something like this, click on OK. Yes, rather. Okay, so yes. And now explain to you why at times you see such a, what do you call it, source information that says section bar do not fit in the section. At times, because of this number of reds, can you see these reds? Can you see all of this? It can also warrant such a thing. So now, if you now look at it, you can see number one thing to look out for, to first of all do when you get here, I'll come to this place a rebar, this select rebar rather. I'll come to this place, click on standard pattern 5. Let's rearrange it, because we cannot be cutting this. Is that okay? At every point of support, we cannot be cutting our rebar. It's going to be straight, isn't it? All right, so let's make that straight before we now start our adjustment. All right, let's wait for it. Okay, it's still doing that. All right, so you can now see the tops all straight. Can you see all straight? And then you can now see all of these all straight. Is that okay? So now I'm going to be concentrating on the aspect of that cantilever of about let's see. Okay, if you look at it, this is about 4 point something meters. If you add this one to this, it should be around such a number. For me to know, I can click on this place here. If I click on this one now, let me click on it and let's see the actual length. Okay, so let's see the actual length. Can you see it's 4 meters? 4 meters cantilever. Is that okay? 4 meter cantilever. So you can now see. So let's close it. All right, so how do I now make this one pass? Automatically, if you look at it, it's failing in deflection, and also the area of steel here is on minus, and it's expected that this place there must not be what? It must not show red. It must not show red, and also no value here should be less than 100. Is that okay? Those are the things you need to look out for. As I said, in this place, all through like this, no value should be less than 100, and no value should show red. That's one. And also this place, no value should show red. Is that okay? And the difference should not be, at least the difference should be around 5. Is that okay? If you check this one from this one, the actual and the limiting, understand the limiting should be more than that of the actual. Is that okay? All right. How do we now go about it? First of all, you notice that there is no reinforcement here. Is that okay? No reinforcement here. Can you see? No reinforcement along this place, but there is reinforcement at the support. Is that okay? Let me first of all provide the reinforcement here. Is that okay? Let me use a Y25. Yes, because of that. So automatically, as I put one Y25, can you see this place that was A is already 400 something? Is that okay? All right. And at this bottom here, this one is at the bottom. So let me make it this. Let me increase to 25 also. Let's see. And then if I now let me say okay, then increase this one. All right. Even 3, 4. Okay, 4 is still okay. It's okay. Understand that is 1, but you can see that the deflection is what is still failing. This one passed, but this one, after increasing this one, can you see, after increasing this one now, it passed the design, isn't it? Based on this, and though it is expected that the reinforcement at the top should be more than the one at the bottom, because the top cantilever you are meant to do was to reinforce the top. Is that okay? All right. So you are meant to reinforce the top for the cantilever because the tension is at the top, while the bottom is the compression. Is that okay? All right. So now let's go about it. And if you look at this, the number of reinforcements here is much, so we can now decide to do what, to start reducing it. Is that okay? Let's reduce it. Okay. So you can now see now. So now I can now increase this one now to 4. Can you see it now? Can you see how I'm adjusting it? Now in this place now, I can decide to choose this one to reduce this one. I don't want it there. Is that okay? I don't want this one here, so I want to bring it down. Sorry. Yes, I want to bring down here. All right, correct. So which means that this reinforcement, they will not be along each other's side. This one will be under, for example, under this reinforcement will be under the reinforcement. Is that okay? Not on the same line. Is that okay? So that is that. Okay, so but here is still failing. Is that okay? So when you have adjusted it like this and you have done what you expect to do, and yet deflection is still failing, it's failing at deflection and all of this, you automatically, this your width, this beam, this beam depth is not sufficient. So how do we go about that? We now go and increase the depth of this beam. So I'll now come to this side down, come to this place now, and let's wait for it. Let's wait for it to come up. All right, here we are. So you can see where we are talking about here. Can you see this? Where we are talking about? Is that okay? So I'll come to this. I think it should be this. Okay, no, this one. Let's click on this. What about this? All right, see it here. Now, if I'm increasing it, the principle is I can't be increasing only this one here, this edge here. No, this strength of this beam lies from inside. Is that okay? As it's coming from inside, the same size is coming from inside, the strength increase. Is that okay? So if you are increasing this place now, only this one is not advisable and it's not correct. Is that okay? Because this beam is coming from inside. It's supposed to have a drop back. Though it's having a drop back, but the drop back is not the same weight. Is that okay? So therefore, as I'm increasing this one, I'm going to be increasing this one also. At least minimum of this. If not, I'll take it from here. Is that okay? Minimum of this. Is that okay? So now on that ground, let me take this one to 650, and this one also 650. Come up. Okay, this one is 650. Is that okay? And then this one also finally 650. All right, click somewhere else and let's wait for it. Let's go and see what has happened, taking place. I'll click on this one and let's see. So can you see it now? Can you see the deflection? In terms of deflection now, can you see what we are having? Is that okay? So now let me see. I'm coming. Let's do something here. Okay. Can I, because I've increased it, can I reduce this? Okay, I can still reduce it, but as I reduce it, can you see the deflection? The difference between them is just one point something. Is that okay? Let me make it 4. Okay. If I make it 5, can you see? 5, this one area of is far more than this thing, so like we can reduce it. Is that okay? Let me bring it down here. Can you see it now? The difference between them is just like it's like 2 point something. Is that okay? Not up to even 4. Is that okay? So which then means tells us that we can still go ahead and increase it, because this one you are expected to what, to have more than this. This 650 is not okay. So I'll go back now. Let me go back and then let me make this one now 750. This is how you go about it, and you'll be sure that yes, your structure is okay. 750. Now that we are increasing the depth, understand, now our number of reinforcement of Y20 can now reduce. Is that okay? It can now reduce. These are the things you look out for, and this is how you go about when you're having something like this. Okay, let's see. So can you now see now 5 against 11? Can you now see? You can now see that we are the deflection now. For our deflection, we have, if minus this from this, that should be around 6. Is that okay? Or let's just say 5. Is that okay? If you minus it, that's about around 5. Is that okay? So let's see. Okay, so it's going to be 11.04 minus 5.99 give us what? Can you say 5.05, which is okay? Is that okay? Minimum of that, so it's okay. So now I haven't done it like this, so you now begin to adjust all of this. Is that okay? You now I haven't make it pass. Can you see? We have made that plate that is failing. That's our, what do you call it? Our cantilever. Where is it? Our cantilever. Can you see? We have made it pass, but this one is showing red. Is that okay? No problem. Just click on OK. Is that okay? Then right click again. Come to this place now. No problem. Let's now go ahead. Okay, let's wait for it. All right, I can now click on yes. Is that okay? To rearrange. Let's see. Let's wait for it to finish. So you can now see. So can you see now? It's no longer showing that red. Can you see? It's no longer showing that that red. So can you see? You can come here now, increase this to this 20. Is that okay? 3Y20. Okay. 3Y20. I'm coming. Let's see. 3Y20 pass. If you look at it, can you see? It's far more than So this place also, because of this place, let's bring about this one. Okay. Can you see 3Y16? Sorry, 3Y25 is okay. What if I make it 20? 3Y20 and then increase this one. Okay. Or it's still okay, and the difference between this one is just like almost like a 4 point something. So it's better I'll just use my 5 Y25. Is that okay? All right, or Y20, depends on how you want it. Is that okay? But even Y20 is still past design. This one is far, and this one is also modern. Is that okay? All right, so at the space of what, 175 links. Is that okay? So that is that. And now in terms of web bar, the principle is that once you are having, for you to have a web bar, if it's a, what do you call it, BS you are using, that's a British, understand, the moment your beam depth is more than 600, you are expected to have a what, a web bar. Is that okay? But if it's a American code you are using, by American code you are using, you are expected to have what, web bar once your beam depth is more than 450. Is that okay? All right, so now in this case, now that we're having up to 750 beam depth, automatically I'm going to use minimum of what, of 2 bars, 2 web bars. Is that okay? If it's a 650 now, I'll just use one web bar, but 750 is going to be 2 web bar, etc. All right, now this place that is showing red, no problem. Why? Because my quartz aggregate can still pass, because the quartz aggregate that is going to be, they are going to be using is what, 20 mm. Is that okay? And have 25, which means that yes, my quartz aggregate can pass through this reinforcement. Is that okay? So this is how to go about your selection of members. Is that okay? And making them to pass. So all of this one now, we have done videos on this, how to make adjustments on all of this. If you look at this, these are unnecessary what, reinforcement. Can you see why we are having this number of reinforcement? Because if you look at this beam depth, can you see now, this beam depth for this 7 point, and if you approximately, if you look at it, that should be around 8 meters. Is that okay? 8 meters, and 450 beam depth can never pass. Is that okay? And that's for you to still pass. That's why we are having this bogus, unnecessary kind of reinforcement. Is that okay? So all of this, you can make it, in fact, at the end, maybe 4Y25 bottom, and it will pass the design if you increase the depth. Is that okay? So that is that. So try and also lay your hands on samples, and you know, from there you get to understand, and you have your confidence will now do what, will now increase. Is that okay? So this place now is going to be 2. Is that okay? 2Y. Okay, 750. This one will also be 2Y. Is that okay? So 2 is okay. All right, so that is it. Can you now see it now that this place now have passed the design? So I can now finally click on what, on my OK. Is that okay? I can now click here. Can you see it now? Pass the design. Is that okay? This is how to go about your member that is failing, especially when you are now having a what do you call it, a cantilever of up to 4 to 5 and all of that. Yes, 5 cantilever can also be, meters cantilever beam can also be designed. Is that okay? And it will pass the design practically if you can follow all these principles. Is that okay? All right, this is how to go about your member that is failing. Is that okay? So thank you very much. We'll see you next time in our next video. This is how to go try and lay your hands on samples. Is that okay? So that you can also have confidence in your practice. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Till I see you next time in our next video, I want to say bye.